Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Arrow, episode 613, titled The Devil's Greatest Trick, which premiered Thursday, February 8th, 2018 on the CW. I'm recording on February 25th. Yes, it's been 2 weeks, and I'm sorry about that, but I've been getting a sore throat lately again. It's like I can never escape it, Anyways, a huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, and then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other video reminders up on screen. So take a moment to look over those, and let's start with the 10-minute clock and see what happened in this episode. So timeline-wise, it's shortly after the events of 6/12, mainly because Vincent's death is still very fresh, especially for Dina. So there is that. Plus also, Cade and James still has Star City under his hostage takeover, and he's still threatening to. I think it's been a week since Oliver's been transferring money every day. I think again it's been 2 weeks. So there's that. But a huge episode reminder is the fact that it's pretty much Cade and James's final move in this episode, and well, you know what I mean. But the huge breakdown storyline-wise is 3 different ones I picked up on. First one being proving that Oliver is innocent to Cade and James in the fact that he did not kill Caden's son 18 months ago. Second being locating Caden's entourage as his order so he can finally get down to who did kill his son. And the third one being stopping Caden from detonating the bomb that he's had in his possession for most of the season so far. So with the first storyline, we get to see Elena back, and she's working with Felicity to try to find the original footage that shows Owen's death. And it turns out that an assassin for hire was hired to kill Owen directly and make it look like the Green Arrow did it. And then shortly afterwards, that assassin was killed off. So there's that. Oliver and Diggle rush to get that information to Cade and James so that he could pull back on his threat against the city. Instead, this makes him want to go on a huge manhunt for the perpetrator involved in his son's death, and it turns out to be someone on his little revenge team. Also, in this little part, we do get a little brief cameo of the Flash in the form of his lightning, as Oliver calls upon Barry to get him and Diggle to the interception point before Caden leaves the city. So it's only in a brief streak of lightning do we get Barry, but that's pretty cool that they use that bit of cameo. Also, Diggle didn't throw up, so there's that. Okay, the second storyline though was that Caden believes that either Black Siren, Anatoly, or Ricardo Diaz are the ones behind his son's death. Black Siren admits to killing Owen, but Caden calls her bluff, saying that she was hesitant to kill Vincent, so he doesn't believe that she would have the galls to kill a child, essentially. So there's that. The third storyline is, because of all this, Caden still wants to detonate the bomb. And it's while Oliver is holding William in his arms that he's able to stop Caden from detonating the bomb by severing a tendon in his wrist that allows him to drop the detonator. So there's that, which I always find that moment to be pretty cool with Oliver's reflexes. But anyways, so flashbacks do return in this episode, and they take place 18 months ago when we see Caden's last moments with his son Oliver before his arrest by Argus and before his son's death. So there is that. Also, this is when I believe he meets Elena shortly before he was arrested. So there's that. So the last moments of the episode show Ricardo Diaz, aka Dragon, killing Cade and James after admitting that he was the one behind Owen's death, and pretty much revealing that Ricardo doesn't want to destroy Star City. He wants to destroy it enough so that he can take it over very easily. And he has a bunch of people in the police, also as well as in the mayor's council on his payroll, so he could take over the city. So there's that. Now, tidbit-wise, though, we get Dina being on the hunt for Black Siren to avenge Vincent's death. We also see Black Siren suffering from a gunshot wound by Dina, and we see Lance determined to bring out the Laurel in Black Siren, especially when he hears Cade and James calling out Black Siren's bluff and how she hesitated, or she didn't want to kill Vincent. Also looks like Team Arrow brings in Team Recruit due to the magnitude of the bomb threat, but still stuff has not changed between them. So there is that. Now moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I have to say it was that Ricardo Diaz killed Caden James after confessing that he was the one that killed his son Owen. I wasn't expecting that. I kind of figured that Caden would be the overarching villain, but I guess he was just the forefront of it, and then it was Ricardo who was pulling the strings, as it were, and making Caden being the front man and doing all the dirty work. So I was surprised by that. But I should have figured, because usually episodes 13 to 16 are usually when they reveal the big bad guy that's going to be the main focus in the last portion of the season. So there's that. But moving on to top 3 favorite moments, I have to say the first one was Oliver's moment when he took down Caden while he was comforting William. It was mainly the fact that when Oliver has William in his arms and Caden is threatening to use the detonator, Oliver's quick reflexes. I love when they show the reflexes. He uses a quick flick wrist movement to throw an arrow that severs a nerve tendon, I believe, in Caden's wrist, which allows him to drop the detonator. Could have gone a huge different direction if the detonator didn't land properly, but I like the show of quick reflexes, and also to show that Oliver was there to try to make things easier for William in a moment where they were all pretty much in danger. So that was a favorite of mine. Another favorite of mine was Caden staying true to his word. He stopped targeting Oliver once he knew the truth about Oliver not killing Owen. Instead of going after the Arrow team, he instead used them to find the true orchestrator behind his son's death. So I like that in a sense that Caden still stayed true to his word, even though he's the bad guy and we should not trust him. But I like that he still has that going, if that makes sense. Another favorite of mine would have to be Lance wanting to protect Black Siren. We've seen it's been a struggle for him trying to figure out whether he should accept the doppelganger of his daughter as his daughter or not, whether she could still be his daughter or if she's too far gone. It was just interesting to see, and in some ways I want him to bring out the Laurel and Black Siren, just because I don't want to see him suffer and lose a daughter for a third time. But again, it's just like, maybe she is too far gone. Maybe there's no saving her, and it's definitely, he can't replace Black Siren, or he can't replace Laurel with another version of her. It just, I don't know. But I did like that he still has hope, and that he wanted to protect her, even if it's a slightest bit of hope that she could be brought back to the Laurel he knew, or the Laurel he believes she could be. So there's that. Moving into top 3 peeve moments, one peeve of mine was the fact that William managed to get to the detonation site, or the exchange site, as you will. He managed to get there alone. I mean, like, what happened to Felicity and Alina watching over him? I mean, how could a kid manage to get across a city who happens to be in a gridlock of a hostage takeover and in such catastrophic states? How did he manage to get there without being seen, without nobody noticing him, first off, until he was actually there? It's just, that really pissed me off right there. Another peeve of mine was the fact that Dina was so focused on Black Siren over the threat that Caden James had, all because she wanted to kill the one who had killed Vincent. I mean, I get that she's driven by her vengeance and all that, but overarching, Black Siren, if Caden James wins, that means Black Siren's going to be killed, you're going to be killed, everyone in the city is going to be killed if he manages to blow up that bomb. Black Siren could wait another day if she happens to survive that. Deal with the bigger threat to begin with. It's just like, I don't know, the fact that her downward spiral has really gotten on my nerves. I'll just leave it at that. But moving on to what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode, the fact that we learn that Ricardo Diaz is actually the overarching boss, I guess you could say. So I wasn't expecting that. I thought he was just a lieutenant, if you will, of an army of bad guys. So there's that. But moving on to random questions, based off the, or not based off pro, crap. First question is, if Ricardo framed the Green Arrow for killing Owen James, then did he already know that Oliver was the Green Arrow before Caden had recruited him and revealed that he was the the vigilante. I mean, the photo hack back in episode 601, 602 had framed, quote, Oliver as the Green Arrow by using the same footage that was used to frame him as Owen's killer. So I'm wondering if Oliver was photoshopped to be that killer. Was it because Ricardo already knew that Oliver was the Green Arrow? And if so, who told him? Or was it because he was the mayor and he just wanted to cause controversy and cause this big whirlwind of a scandal? So there's that. Another question is, will Anatoly still side with Ricardo Diaz in taking over Star City because of his vendetta against Oliver, or would he step away from that? So there's that. And the last question is, did Black Siren have a sister back on Earth too? I know that is completely random, but I keep wondering what would happen if Black Siren saw Sarah and vice versa. Would Sarah, I know Sarah would have a reaction because it's a doppelganger of her sister, but would Black Siren have that same reaction? Because we do know that on Earth X, Sarah did exist, but we don't know if Laurel existed. So it's interesting because, as you know, sometimes siblings can exist, sometimes they don't. I mean, with Earth 2, Killer Frost had a brother and the Caitlin we know doesn't, so it depends. But anyways, the timer went off, but moving on to predictions very quickly. Based off the promo for 614, it returns March 1st, which is actually this coming week. So there's that, but it shows the original Team Arrow versus the new Team Arrow, or Team Recruits, as you know I call it. And they're contemplating crossing the line between each other, coming head-to-head with each other, so there's that. But the synopsis for the episode, because it's in the upcoming week, it has been released. And it shows that Oliver, Diggle, and Felicity disagree with Dina, Curtis, and Renee on how to handle Black Siren. The two teams face off and a fight ensues. Now, this is kind of really pissing me off, the fact that the new recruits have really turned against Team Arrow. It really annoys me, because now, when you think back to, originally it's Oliver, Felicity, Diggle, right? But then you had Roy, and then you had Thea, and then you had Laurel, and you had Sarah added to the team. Now, what I liked, probably in the moment I had issues, but in comparison to this new Team Arrow, I definitely like the older additions to the team, because they all had a connection to Oliver. They all were connected. They all were family in some sense. So there was no way any of them would have turned against him or gone or betrayed him in any way. While with these new recruits, they're all doing that. We had Renee outing him to the FBI. We had Dina turning her back on him, all because he didn't help her dead traitorous lover. And then Curtis is turning against him because trust issues were dealt with, when essentially they have full reason not to trust him, because he's technically an outsider to them. He's not family, there's no bonds to them. He can easily flip on them, which they've shown they do on many times on occasion. So it really pisses me off about this division, when it was original Team Arrow that took these recruits in and gave them purpose and turned them into something that the city could stand to gain from their involvement. So there's that. But anyways, also because we're so close to the episode starting up again, synopses and footage has been released that for episode 615, we do see not only the return of Roy Harper, but we do see the return of Thea back in the vigilante suit of Speedy. So I can't wait for that episode. I didn't realize until I saw those photos how much I want to see the reunion between Roy and Thea so much. But yeah, that's about it, guys. What did you guys think of episode 613? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts, theories, and opinions about what you think is to come. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place. Go check that out. I'm a little behind. I tried to get back into it in the last 2 weeks, but I'm still behind. But keep that in mind. It's also connected to my WordPress account. The link for that is down below. Everything is organized on WordPress. It's just a little more of a work in progress, so keep that in mind as well. But that's about it, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next time to see what I have to say about the next episode. But until then, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.